Hello friends, welcome back to my new video lecture. First of all, most humbly I would like to thank you all for subscribing my YouTube channel, for the warm reception that you all are giving me. That is giving me the hope and inspiration. And please keep me in your prayers and keep blessing me so that I can create some very good content which can be helpful for all the admirers and lovers of English literature as a whole. Today, I will talk about a writer who has played a significant role in British English literature. The writer is Ben Jonson. Now, when we talk of Ben Jonson, we have to take into account some of his greatest creations which has contributed to the development of British English drama as a whole. In this video, I have tried to accumulate most of the important points which can be very significant from any point of examination, be it a competitive examination, be it your regular examination. This particular video will be helpful because I have tried to gather as much of information about the writer and as authentic information about the writer as I can. So it is my humble request that if time permits, please watch till the end of this video so that you don't miss any important point. So when we talk of Ben Jonson, the first thing we should know is the Ben Jonson's timeline. When exactly Ben Jonson survived, what was his timeline, and how is because timeline is important, because in any writer, in literature, as we say that literature is the mirror of the society. So a writer is greatly affected by the social happenings of his time, which is very clearly depicted, reflected in his writings. So when we talk of Ben Jonson, the timeline of Ben Jonson is 1572 to 1637. Ben Jonson was born in a place called Westminster in 1572. Ben Jonson's full name is Benjamin Jonson. His father was a clergyman, but his father died before his birth. His mother remarried a bricklayer named Robert Brett. For a brief period of time, Ben Jonson joined his stepfather's bricklaying business, but then he became very dissatisfied and joined the army. He returned to England back in 1594 and married Annie Lewis on November 14th, 1594. In 1597, he became an actor and a playwright with the Lord Admiral's Company in 1597. Now, one interesting feature is he killed a fellow actor in a duel with his, but he was not, he was left. He escaped because of his wit. He wrote masques for private performances in King James Court. In the War of Theatres, he quarrelled with Marston and Decker. Now, War of Theatres, I would try to make a different video on it. He is buried in Westminster Abbey, very famous place, and his epitaph reads, "O rare Ben Jonson." Now, Ben Jonson is basically known to us for his comedies. So let me just start with his comedies, and I will go in a chronological manner, trying to highlight important points in each comedy that he has written. Now, to start with his comedies, his first work is A Tale of a Tub. A Tale of a Tub is last of his plays to be staged during his lifetime. A Tale of a Tub was first performed in 1633 and published in 1640 in the second folio of Jonson's works. This particular play was licensed for publication by Sir Henry Harbert, the Master of the Revels, on 7th May 1633 and acted by Queen Henrietta's men at the Cockpit Theatre. This play was also performed at the court on 14th January 1634 before King Charles I and Queen Henrietta Maria. However, this play was not very well received. The second play, which is a very controversial one, is The Isle of Dogs, which was published in 1597. Now, this play was written, he collaborated with Thomas Nash, and both of them together collaborated and wrote this play. The play was performed most probably by Pembroke's men at the Swan Theatre in Bankside in July or August 1597. But as it was very controversial, it was immediately suppressed and no copy of it is known to exist. Three of the players who participated in this play, they are Gabriel Spencer, Robert Shaw and Ben Jonson. All three were arrested and sent to Marshala prison. However, Nash escaped imprisonment. His third work, which is a very famous work, Every Man in His Humour. Every Man in His Humour, the play was performed by Lord Chamberlain's men in 1598 at the Curtain Theatre. This play is very important because, and this is very technical point, William Shakespeare played the part of Noel, the aged father, in this play. And also this play is important because one of the famous characters, Captain Bobadil, created by Jonson's plays, appears in this play. Jonson's fourth play is Every Man Out of His Humour, which was published in 1599. Every Man Out of His Humour was acted in 1599 by the Lord Chamberlain's men. This conceptual sequel to Jonson's 1598, this is Every Man Out of His Humour, is a conceptual sequel to Jonson's comedy of 1598, that is Every Man in His Humour. This play, Every Man Out of His Humour, contains an allusion to John Marston's Histiomatrix. His fifth play is Cynthia Revels, which was published in 1600. The play was first performed at the Blackfriars Theatre by the children of the chapel. His sixth play, The Potester, this was published in 1601. It is believed that the character of Horace in Potester, this represents Jonson himself, while Crispinus, who is presented as a character who vomits up the pretentious and bombastic vocabulary, is Marston, and Demetrius Phanius is Decker. The term Potester, it means an inferior poet, and this term was coined by Erasmus in 1521. His seventh work of comedy, that is Eastward Ho. This seventh work, Eastward Ho, was published in 1605. Eastward Ho was published in collaboration with Marston and Chapman. The play was first published at the Blackfriars Theatre by a company of actors known as the Children of the Queen's Revels. This play also offended King James, and the playwrights as a result were imprisoned. This play's title alludes to Westward Ho, which was written by Thomas Decker, and John Webster also wrote a Northward Ho in response in that same year. His eighth work, which is very, very famous, is Volpone or The Fox, which was published in 1606. This play premiered at the Globe Theatre in spring of 1606, and it was performed by the King's men. Very famous character Mosca, who is the servant and plays a significant role in the play, appeared in this play. The ninth in the line of comedies is Epicene or The Silent Woman, which was published in 1609 approx. The play premiered at the Whitefriars Theatre in either December 1609 or January 1610 and was originally performed by the Children of the Queen's Revels. A model analysis of this play is offered by Dryden in an essay of dramatic poesy. His next comedy, Ben Jonson's, is The Alchemist. The Alchemist was first performed in 1610 by King's men. And one more point is very important when we talk of Alchemist is Samuel Taylor Coleridge considered it had one of the three most perfect plots in literature. This is a great compliment given by Samuel Taylor Coleridge, who considered The Alchemist as one of the three most perfect plots in literature. Alchemist was followed by Bartholomew Fair, which was published in 1614. It was first staged on 31st October 1614 at the Hope Theatre by Lady Elizabeth's Men Company. So, these are the 11 very famous written comedies by Jonson. Now, I will talk about the other works which he has written, starting with tragedies. He has basically written two tragedies. The first is Cygnus or The Fall, Cygnus His Fall, which was published in 1603. This was first performed at court in 1603 and at the Globe Theatre in 1604. The play was accused of promoting popery and treason, and his second play, which comes under the category of tragedies, is Catiline His Conspiracy, which was published in 1611. His third category or genre that he wrote were the masks. Ben Jonson was also famous for masks. The first in the line is The Coronation Triumph or the King's Entertainment, which was published in 1604. His second mask was The Mask of Blackness, which was published in 1605. The third, The Mask of Beauty, which was published in 1608. The Hue and Cry After Cupid or The Mask at Lord Haddington's Marriage, which was published in 1608 too. His fifth mask, The King's Entertainment at Welbeck in Nottinghamshire, was published in 1633. His sixth mask was The Love's Welcome at Bolsover in 1634. He also wrote Anti-Mask, which is The Mask of the Queens, which was published in 1609. He wrote lyrics also. One of the famous lyrics is Drink to me only with thine eyes, which has the opening line of Song to Celia in 1616. So, friends, these were some of the important works of Ben Jonson. I have tried to accumulate it in the best possible way I can, and I hope I have been able to give you some information, introductory information about Ben Jonson. I will talk about his works in details in some of my other videos. If you like my video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for sparing your time and watching my video. May God bless you all. This is Dr. Shoykot Banerjee signing off. Thank you for watching.